Hello, I'm Austin, and I guess I'm the guest on this TMBot special, the ping pong tutorial. Tip number 1 is serving. There are 3 different types of serving. There is front spin, where you hit it up, back spin, where you hit it down, and then there's side spin, which we'll talk about later. Okay, we're going to start with top spin, but before you do anything else with serving, first you need to kind of know how to serve. So what you want to do, some people will drop it and then hit it like that. However, you don't want to do that. You want to throw it up in the air, and when it comes back down, you want to hit it. So, like that. Except, I don't want to leave the ball right now. But, what you're going to do, you're going to angle your paddle up into it and make sure you cross over. So like that. Okay? And that's the first type of spin. The second type of spin is the backhand or backspin, and you serve down, and you'll angle the paddle this way so that it spins back towards you, and as it crosses the net, it bounces so your opponent can't do it. Also, you want to make sure you really flick your wrist in this type of serving. And that just barely went over the net, so that was perfect. But you just, and it spins it backwards, so it's just like that, to show you in frame if I can. But the last type of serving is side spin, and for that you're going to want to kind of shove it out and up. So the theory is you serve it and your opponent thinks that it's going to come to them, however it's not going to, it's going to spin the opposite direction, and you can do it either way. You can go like that, or you can go like the first way I showed you, like that. So to recap everything, I'm just going to show you the 3 major types of serving. Top spin, back spin, and side spin. So, and that basically caps up serving.
Tip number 2 will be returning. So when you're returning, you want to get nice and low, or you can stay up here, but I prefer to stay low because I can get a better shot. So what we're going to be doing is backspin. I like to do that with my backhand. And then top spin with the forehand. I like to do that with my forehand. So let me give you an example of backhand spin.
Okay, so in tip number 3, we're going to be talking about how to play offense, which is attacking. You usually want to attack if the other opponent is lobbing them at you. Here's an example of a lob. The ball's going to come at me high, and I'm going to smash it over to him. So it's you're usually going to want to use a forehand, either backhand or forehand actually, but you're going to want to use a top spin. And you're going to basically just want to smash it as hard as you can with the top spin. Usually if you're going to hit it a bit harder, you want to stand back farther from the table, and you want to stay consistent with this. You don't want to just hit randomly, and I don't know, here's some examples. Alright, here's an example of an attacking forehand. Okay, and what I did in the forehand shot, when he hit it to me, he lobbed it. So it's a little bit softer hit, and it's not going to be as hard to catch up with. You won't have to move and really think about the shot as much. All you want to do is line yourself up with the lob, wait until it's a good distance in the air so you have room to do the whole follow through, and you want to hit it from your bottom hip up to your shoulder. And you want to hit it like that with the paddle angled slightly forward, so you get a lot of top spin. Okay, now this is going to be an example of an offensive or attacking backhand. Okay, an explanation of that is basically what I did. I waited, it was again a softer hit called a lob, or just a softer hit. But what I did, you follow it back, you wait till you have good air, and then you come up that way, and you want to remember the follow through. You just whip it up and out a little bit. So you really get the force spin on it so that it can go and catch your opponent off guard.
Tip number 4 will be defensive shots. There's 2 different types of forms. You can do a backhand slice or a forehand slice, or you can just kind of hit it like that. So I'm going to give you a couple examples. I'm going to give you an example of a backhand defensive shot. So I'm going to explain how I did that backhand defensive shot. So So basically with my right leg, I stepped into the shot and sliced, and I followed through. I didn't just chop. You have to kind of sort of follow. So now I'm going to be explaining the forehand slice. So I'm going to explain how I did that forehand defensive shot. With my left leg, I stepped into the shot and sliced. Notice I didn't chop. I slowly sliced.
On tip number 5, we're going to be talking about how to do different types of serves and different angles. Because you want to be unpredictable. You don't want your opponent to see the same serve coming every time. You don't want to always just go, because they'll always be able to return it because they know it's coming. You want to be able to go like, hit it one time like that. On the next serve, you can just hit it like this. Hit it. So now I'm going to give some examples of how to do those serves, but that's basically what I mean. Alright, the next serve we're going to be talking about is the forehand back, and it's basically like that. You hit it harder from your backhand, so you can change up the angle from the forehand because they won't see it coming where it's going to hit. Okay. The next type we're going to be learning is forehand slice. The forehand slice is going to be coming down from up by your shoulder down next to your hip in a slicing motion. But you're not going to flick your wrist a lot, like he talked about in the other video, the other segment. And that's going to throw in a more just differentiating, and it's going to get it a lot of spin so they don't know where it's going to go unless they're extremely experienced. Okay, another serve you can do serves at different angles. Those are just different types of serves. Now if you really want to mix it up, you could do serves at different angles, such as I want to get over here, and they think I'm going to hit it over that corner. You look at the corner, but you hit it over to that side, and they won't be able to get it back. It'll hit the net because they won't be able to get to it fast enough like that. Alright, another angle that you can do is if you step all the way over to the corner, and you can go straight. Instead, you look at that corner, just go. And it'll confuse them because they won't know where you're going to or what you're doing. Okay, the last type of serve I'm going to be showing you is going to be a little bit of angle and a little bit of serve. Okay, you're basically want to hit it like that, so it curves, and you're going to aim for the right side because this is going to put a lot of spin on the ball. And it should be hard for most people to get back.
Tip number 6 will be different types of speeds and how hard you hit it. So if a ball is really low, you don't want to have to hit it really hard because then you will hit it 10% of the time. So you want to hit a consistent speed. You don't want to hit like this, really soft. You don't want to kill it every time because most of the time you're going to miss, except if you're a pro, you can hit it that hard. But for beginners and intermediates, I would not recommend it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is consistency. And when you get to a point, finish out the point. You don't want to continue to do that consistency. When you get to a point, you can hit it hard and finish out the point. That's how you win the point.
Okay, this one is tip number 7. It's going to be more for beginners than intermediate players. This is basically how to start and pull out an entire game of ping pong back and forth. You're only going to want to start, and you're going to want to say ping, and you're going to spell it back and forth. So here's an example. P,
I,
N,
G.
And after you do that, you play it out until see whoever wins. So his shot missed the table after I successfully returned it, so that would be my point, and I would start the game. You say your score, 0-0, and I'll serve first. After 5 points, his turn to serve, and you switch serves every 5 points. So that's the basics of ping pong. We'll give you an example to 3. 0-0. Oh, 0-1, I hit it off the table. Okay, 0-1. Dang it, suck at this. Okay, 0-2. That was a wall. Yep, 0-3, so I lose. That's basics of ping pong. Okay, we're going to talk about lets. A let is basically when you hit the ball and it goes over, but it just barely touches the top of the net. So that's a let, and you just have to reserve every time you have a let. and I will just continue having to reserve until I can get it over the net properly. However, if it hits the net and it bounces back to your side of the table, and it bounces back, that was weird, it bounces back to your side of the table, like this, or not, then, point being, if it hits the net and bounces back, then it's their point, and you serve again. Alright, now we're going to show you guys a game of ping pong from 1 to 21, start to finish, and we'll probably speed it up a little bit unless there are big points or tips that we can point out to you guys. So, enjoy! How'd you guys like the ping pong game? Was it horrible on my part? Yes, absolutely. Because he's freaking amazing. He's a ping pong genius. Genius.